So we're gonna start. Well, I better go to the restroom.
Do you still want to wait a minute, or we can start?
Do you want a minute or do you want to start now?
I'd like to go to the
She
restroom.
wants
Okay.
a minute, thank you.
Just a minute, Eric. Just a minute, folks.
Thank you.
Good. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sound good.
Can you see?
Yeah, I know where
my-
it is. I know where it
We'll pass your cane back.
is.
I just bought it yesterday.
Thank you, Dora.
Oh, you know it.
All right, thank you everyone for being here. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Wanda Coleman Theater here at Beyond Baroque Literary Arts Center. My name is Sivan Salinas. I'm the programs manager here in the space. I want to welcome you to Patricia Olson's book launch of Reflections, published by Conflux Press. But first, I want to acknowledge our presence on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Tongva peoples. We are on Indigenous land, and we acknowledge the wrong done to Indigenous communities through colonialism and genocidal practices. But as an arts organization, we are committed to uplifting their stories, communities, and cultures. Beyond Baroque is a nonprofit literary arts organization that has been around since 1968, and it has its roots deeply embedded in the Venice community. You can find an array of performances, readings, and gallery exhibitions year-round, both here in the theater and all throughout the space. And we also have a wide array of workshops that happen weekly online via Zoom on poetry and fiction. They happen every Monday night and every Wednesday night. And you can also sign up to our generative workshops, which happen in person, and they're a bit more intensive, but they are all different, also led by different facilitators. And on July 20th, we are having facilitator Luivette Resto. She's a poet from the Bronx, currently based here in LA. Great poet that is leading a workshop on humor and wit and how you can also write it in your own work, maybe not take yourself so seriously. But that's happening on July 20th, and in August, we are having workshops with the great, amazing Holiday Mason and poet Lori Bedikian. These are all great workshops, highly recommend them, and if you want to know more about them, please let me know after the reading. And we are here thanks to your support. You can help us keep having free programming for the public and support our mission to provide a platform for artists and writers locally, but also internationally. Just tonight, we also have an event of Arabic poetry in translation, and these are poets who are based in the United States, but they come from other regions of the world. I think we have a poet from Iraq, and as well as a poet from Syria. And they are coming here tonight for a reading that is also co-sponsored by the Marquez Review. So it'll be a great evening, and hope to see you then as well. But you could find also a reading, a performance every Friday and Saturday here at Beyond Baroque. So please come back. And I just want to say a huge thank you to our staff who works on all these programs, from our tech director, Eric Alberg, to executive director, Quentin Ring, assistant director, Jimmy Vega, and bookstore assistant, Genesis Perez, and the whole team of Beyond Baroque. And yeah, after the reading, please feel free to connect with our authors. We have 3 amazing poets with us today, and it will be a great afternoon. And for those joining us online, also thank you so much for your support. And just know that after our reading, this event will be available via our YouTube channel, and you can see the recording of it. So, all right, to start off with some readings, we're first going to welcome the great Gedda Ilves. Let me just read her bio a little bit. Gedda is an award-winning poet. She has been a beacon at Beyond Baroque for some years. Born in Harbin, China, Gedda grew up in Harbin and Shanghai, emigrating in 1949 and eventually arriving to LA by way of South Africa and Brazil. Her 5th book of poetry, As a Butterfly to a River, was published in 2019 by Conflux Press. Her poems have appeared in numerous anthologies and journals, and the recognition Gedda has garnered includes the Editor's Choice Award for Outstanding Achievement in Poetry from Poetry.com and the International Library of Poetry, runner-up for the Paris Book Festival Award, finalist for the Eric Hoffer Award and awards from the London, Paris, and Los Angeles book festivals. Gedda's first four books of poems are cataloged in the Los Angeles Central Library. Congrats, Gedda. And please give a warm welcome to Gedda Ilves. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I can't see you there, but anyway, it's wonderful for me to stand at the Beyond Baroque podium. It's my home away from home. Today is Patricia Olson Day to celebrate the birth of her first poetry book. Congratulations, Pat, and all the kudos you're already receiving. And thank you for inviting me. I am delighted also to read with my friend Christine Candland. I'll read 5 poems, and I would like to start with a poem which, in a way, reflects the events in the world today. It's in memory of Alexei Navalny. If you may recall, there was a documentary made on him, and it was awarded an Oscar last year. I've also to say that Alexei Navalny was transported to a gulag in Arctica from one of the gulags around Moscow, and he was transported there by the city of Omsk. So, in memory of Alexei Navalny. It was snowing in Omsk. Trees with outstretched branches like ghosts cloaked in white lined the street. Children, up to their knees in snow, throw soft white balls at each other. Their laughter fills the air. A few pedestrians pass by, smiling. A short chain of black cars softly roll to their destination unnoticed. A man in the back seat looks out of the car window, his hands in shackles. Does he know or feel this ride takes him closer to his final destination? Does he think of family or his country? In the Moscow Kremlin, the ruthless oppressor who lives in secluded history, luxury, a coward in the face of slighted opposition, plots and orders his minions to eliminate another adversary. As time races on without a trace, as every passing day does not repeat itself, as the dead do not return, in the deep labyrinth of our minds, memory will preserve his bravery and his noble image. No. We sit at a sidewalk cafe. The rain stopped. A faint odor of iodine from the ocean, aroma of fresh coffee, few people on the beach. Your brother away at war. I hold your hand and recite your favorite poems. A fragrance of night jasmine, sigh of summer breezes of life and death, your brown eyes and adoration. Or is it all just words? But oh, they are immortal. A letter from the past. I hold your letter in my hand, its content full of love for me that was so many years ago, yet it is so close to me. Idealism of our youth, the rosy spectacles we wore, our hopes, our future, our dreams, our love to last forevermore. The world was ours. Our days were bright. The flowers bowed when we embraced. The leaves in trees rustled when we kissed. That was so many years ago. Our path diverted. As snow in early spring, our love has melted in its course, and Lethe drowned our Kantian thoughts. I hold your letter in my hand. It turned among the papers in my desk. I can't leave the fiery, searing words, so personal, so full of fervent love. I strike a match. The burned up ages turn black. A tiny pile of gray ashes is all that's left of our hopes, desires, passion. But in my heart, a nagging tender pain remains with memories of our golden days to last forevermore. The Bards of Russia. 1. Dreams. Like the proverbial mustard seed strewn over the globe, after the revolution, the bards of Russia gave the world poetry filled with tears, desperation, longing for their motherland. Birch trees, gentle and shy, their green leaves turning silver in the breeze, were in their dreams. The massive oaks, planted firmly in the earth like old Vikings, strong, immobile, inflexible. Rivers with water so cold in spring that burns the skin. Meadows with spikes of wheat, figures in a corps de ballet bending in the wind. White knights of St. Petersburg meeting at the Café of Stray Dogs. 2. Exiles. On foreign soil, the foreign sky, the needy existence made their longing deeper, their hopes of return dying with the lapsing time. 3. The roster. And of those who remained, Bloch embraced the revolution, died a broken-hearted man. Gumilov, executed. Mandelstam perished in a gulag. Yesenin and Mayakovsky committed suicide. Tsvetaeva returned from Czechoslovakia, forced into an outside village, hanged herself. And Akhmatova, the dowager of Russian poesy, lived a pitiful existence. 4. returned. Crimson roses lying in the snow against black crosses among the marble silence of tombs. And this is the last one. Air cools. 1. The air cools, the night crawls stealthily like a lynx on forest path, and snow begins to fall on the black statue in the square. A bird looks down from its shoulder to find a better shelter from the cold. 2. I've lived my life, and now night approaches. I would be asked 2 questions. Did you love? Indeed I did, so much and deeply. The roses in my yard, children's smiles, stars winking from above. Even this winter cold with fleecy snow, and him. The second question, did you sin? And here I smile. I'm too old to recollect. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gedda. Please, one more round of applause for Gedda. Thank you for your beautiful poems. All right, our next author is Christine Candland. Christine's 2 poetry collections are entitled Paris Spoken Here and When Snow Walks In. Her 2 novels are entitled Pleiades Rising and Topaz Woman. She received awards in the National Best Books, Creative Arts Council, National Indie Excellence, London and Paris Book Festival competitions, and was a finalist in the Eric Hoffer. Several of her poems have been featured in the California Quarterly and the Altadena Review. She's read her work at the Mar Vista, Whittier, and Kaufman Brentwood Libraries and participated in a writers' panel at Emeritus College. She grew up in Maryland and holds a BA degree in psychology from Adams State College and graduate degrees from University of New Mexico and Southwestern University. All right, please welcome Christine Candland.
Hello. Thank you, Yvonne. Congratulations, Pat. My first poem is called Homer's Girl. Dear Homer, did you dream of Achilles last night, tall and erect as he slew romantics, distracted by the forlorn asphodel breaking through clay inadvertently, winding its way between spheres, splintered in shattered helmets' bronze? Plunder for rear flank soldiers, loosely guarded, with an eye towards going home. Why not? It's not their war. Rook takes queen, Paris takes Helen. Dear Homer, with your sensitive touch, how do you write such wretched stuff? Has Apollo sent you a slice of blinding sun or cast sunbeams in your path, imploring you to recount the heroic tales of Troy and Greece? Did you want to be a soldier yourself, beneath your poet's robe, the clink of armor against your thighs, pressing into your flesh? I fear for you, dear friend, a chronicler trapped in the battlefields, caught between the arrows of Aeneas and Odysseus, to witness firsthand the savagery of Zeus. Will your wisdom be drowned by lust for battle that seeps into backbone? Homer, I've read your pages. Please consider my input. Don't forget to tell them it was Aphrodite who started all the trouble. just to win a beauty contest, promising Paris, if she won, Helen would be his to swoon all over him, guiding them safely to Troy, where Paris strutted and Helen's weavings grew stale. Paris, a restless fool, disregarded the oracles who warned of loss of life and limb by many, of soldiers dragged through mud, when Menelaus retaliated, all because of a lark. When you woo me. When you woo me, I'll pull down the blinds, savor the jasmine and calla lily, carelessly as silk strewn over velvet, a swash of elegance on the floor, lifting strawberries and light, careful not to linger too close to the fire, careful not to heighten the blaze, sown with forgetfulness. Softly comb your hair, shortened by my last foray, into restless waves, enduring petals of insolence, a moth's flight out the window, in case memory strays too far from home. Careful longing pervades endless chicanery, pulling here now there until mist covers all boundaries, all surfaces, damp moss edges the stream. Contentment vanishes, soon blinds go up. City sounds rush in too soon as docile providence collides. So sure the streetcar had already passed us by. Dawn and milkman are at the door. Refracted light. Over the fence between posts, careful not to disturb the nestlings, listen to avoid stepping on them. She was here at least once last summer. Her scent still lingers moonlight as the fog pulls against our better judgment. Knowing only the sound of breath can coax us into saltier air. Down the path is the brook where we washed our feet in hopeful expectation of what might lie ahead. Afterward, when everyone was asleep, the old treehouse found us and melted the silence. Just to be sure, indigo moss filled the storm's shadows, lulling us back to the meadow where our memories recalled everything we thought was left behind. Before daybreak. Somewhere between dawn and mischief, after turning on the heat, a roar of endless apologies sinks down into the carpet. Ginger, with large yellow paws, is asleep, traveling through landscapes only she remembers. The kettle is on, but what hot water to make that first cup of coffee. Next door, the neighbors are quiet. We don't speak to them. We don't know why anymore. Somewhere, sanity lives, but only before daybreak, that's for sure. And time travel doesn't work without a roadmap. We've had a lot of fog recently, so this is an ode to the Catalina eddy. Once a dreamy sequence, now a damp cotton blanket that pins me in. Where is the sunshine, I suppose? At the bottom of the well, enhanced by daylight, only sometimes. As wind and fog spin, whose life spins with it? Catalina's steak master, who can't entice enough customers? The fish bar with stuffed marlin on the wall, selling t-shirts to make ends meet. Golf carts, dusty, searching for buffalo and kit foxes to charm tourists. Forfeit nothing, never a day well planned. when marine layer steals a glimpse and vortex whirls around axis, a negative outlining ghost images. He was here, then he wasn't. Clutching memories, pulling strands of forgetfulness through narrow hoops as coastal clouds hover, blocking blue, azure, green, sky's breath in color. There he is, looking through a window in the fog, glowing sunset, sunshine at his back. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Christine.
You're welcome.
All right. Now for our main feature of the afternoon, celebrating her debut collection, is Patricia Olson. She was born in Brooklyn, New York, attended Adelphi College in Long Island, where she graduated with a BA in advertising agency, where she was a copywriter and producer of TV commercials for clients including Marx Toys and Nabisco. After a number of commercial shoots in Los Angeles, Patricia decided to move to Southern California in 1972. She's published 2 children's books, Frumpy the Pumpkin Who Missed Halloween and Tall J. A third children's book, A Gecko's Vacation, is forthcoming. A poet since her formative years, Reflections is her first full-length collection. Please give a warm welcome to Patricia Olson.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome. I just want to say before I begin that the 2 poets you just listened to, Gedda Ilves and Christine Candland, have been very influential in this book. Their encouragement and counseling when I've written some of these poems has been very, very helpful. So I want to thank them because they have fingerprints on every one of these poems. So for those of you who don't know who I am, and I think a lot of the virtual people don't know who I am, I'm Patricia Olson, and I'm a writer. I have written 3 children's books. 2 have been published. 1 is in the wings. And now I'd like to share with you some poems from my first poetry collection, Reflections. I'll begin with a poem that's very close to my heart because it's about my family. 4 hands. Like a white sentinel standing guard, 4 clasped hands cast in plaster keep watch above my fireplace. 4 hands of children I have loved, not mine, yet they are mine. I married their father. 4 hands united in family clutch each other, fingers pressed hard on the other's hand. 4 hands, 20 fingers, 2 sisters, 2 brothers. I have watched them pull apart and come back together. I hold the sculpture in my hands, slowly turning each hand in turn. When I feel their fingers, a ring pops up like a lost pearl. Their veins pulse out the past. I held these hands through the years. Grown now, they pull away, breaking the circle, reaching to become taller, bigger, better, stronger, destined to walk their own path. Stretching the family thread, each fist closed tight in resolve, turning its wrist in a statement, like a signpost showing the way. As I sit here on a summer's day, watching shadows, then golden light, caress those hands, holding them together through the years, my heart knows the truth. If they were sculpted today, only 3 hands would come together, clasped hand on hand, fingers entwined, leaving space for an angel. We're getting there. Girl with a pearl earring. Her amber eyes follow me, deep as earth's core, pure concentration from beneath blue silk wrapping her head. Her day's work done, she sits poised for the painter, the portrait that hides secrets, questions, longings. Who is she? Who is the painter? The thread binds them in breathless silence. Golden light flows through shutters, stretches like lace across her face. Her breath clouds the room. The needle burned in flame pierces her ear. The blood wiped away, the pearl dangles, glistening, an opalescent tear. His eyes, longing, painting her to eternity. Her eyes, a Madonna, or eyes of God's judgment. Staring, following me, there is no escape. The Moon Sister, the other bowling girl. I am the sister unknown to history. Mary, the sister who never found light, the shadow, the pawn in the royal game. I was in his bed before her, in his arms before her, in the king's arms before her. Almost queen, almost. He loved this child with his power, his desire. I believed his desire, but his love had a price. An heir was his desire. Not me, not Anne, not Catherine. Air is what he breathed to stay alive. I was Anne's sister, the other sister, the moon sister, who had the wolf baying in her light. Till a cloud of ambition eclipsed me into darkness. His desire slipped from the satin sheets, leaving me cold as his ice blue eyes. He made Anne his queen. I watched the wolf lurk in the shadows, away from the moon sister, the married sister with 2 sons. Okay, we're going to move to another castle now. Lady Macbeth. It was still in the castle last night and the night before. I stood in the dark, alone. Only moonlight pierced the room. On the stone-cold wall, the mirror showed me my face. Face of a queen, woman, mother? A face masked with dread. I remember that nightmare night when the castle shook with rage, exploded with screams of horror. It was murder. Macbeth trembled. Tonight it is quiet, cold. My breath forms cobwebs. On the shadows, so cold, my hands grip each other, ringing against the red stain. In the dark, the spot glows like a fire's last hot coal. Guilt branded on my skin. I held the knife, but I did not murder. I did not. He was king. I saw my father in his face. I'm lost. Oh, okay. The white iris. It grew up in defiance, a seed misplaced. It stood there like a proud stranger, the perfect white iris in a cluster of purple. Stood tall above the others, defying even the peach blossoms that framed it. A white iris, the star of the painting. What was Van Gogh saying as he brushed that iris white? Could it be Vincent himself, the shunned artist who did not fit in, could not find his color? Perhaps it is Vincent's soul, crying out to be heard. Vincent, who tried to love, and in his madness painted his final words in silence. Let me see. Oh. The spider. He found a warm place to weave his web inside the window, away from wind and birds' hungry beaks. I watched him slowly knit long silken threads between the rungs and legs of the black lacquered chair. Then across space to the polished legs of small stacked tea tables where a vase of flowers stood watching. He quivered as he climbed back again, clinging to the thread like a trapeze artist, swaying across a patch of sun, then back into shadow. So graceful and light were his moving legs, deliberate with purpose, as if he were weaving the web of civilization. The harpist. Only serenity, pleasure, and peace enfold the heart. The harp is a lonely instrument to play. It is the instrument of angels. Soft, gentle music caresses the air as dainty fingers pluck the strings. Like a bird's wings fan the air in flight. A lone soul sends waves of peace across the room, where people gather mindless of the performance, unaware of the floating melody that soothes their rough edges. There sits the lone harpist in her solo orb. Not a word is spoken, only the strings speak, filling an empty space, neutralizing conversation. When silence settles in, there is no thundering applause. Only echoes of her music linger like scents of sweet perfume. Okay. I'm getting there. Okay, I'm throwing in an extra one here. Vermont. I wish I were there on that green pastured farm where the white fence leads to the old red barn. In sunshine or rain, the air smells sweet, of the hay that is rolled and the ripe golden wheat, where plump apples hang like red Christmas balls and bob in the wind till the weak one falls. I wish I were there in autumn or in spring, but for now I must sit and dream of such things. But where is autumn? It was still summer green when we came to Vermont. The hills and woods held on to summer like a beggar clutches his coat against the winter's wind. The corn had been picked, buttered, savored, and stirred into chowder and bread, husks dry and crisp, ready for hanging on doors and posts. Plump pumpkins, orange and green, lie in fields like fallen balloons, waiting to become jack-o'-lanterns, faces, and pie, the people of autumn. But where is autumn? Autumn is sassy, with a mind of her own. She comes not like lightning or a raucous parade. Oh no, not autumn. She has her own way. Scarecrows and cows stand and wait. Trees stay still as a whisper. The moon searches for autumn like a spotlight, panning dark shadowed woods, guiding bear and beaver to their dens and dreamless sleep. Then, like a child slips into mother's bed, she creeps up the misty hills, lifting the veil of sleep from yawning trees. Her cloth of many colors spread, autumn settled in to stay. Autumn memories. Colored leaves of memories swirl round my head as I step into the crisp autumn day. The air smells of moist forests, of pines and leaves still damp from early morning mist. I breathe in scents of a hearth's crackling fire and home-baked breads that awaken the senses and speak of the season. Sunshine melts the night frost from a leaf that now glows golden red, a blush upon the green that was its summer face. Turning toward the hills, I see mountains dressed in painted splendor, waiting for autumn's celebration. Amber leaves fall at my feet, leading me along a country path lined with stately birch and pine. My rustling steps crackle over acorns and broken twigs until I round a bend and see a white spire pointing heavenward amidst a nest of autumn hues. His hand takes mine, and I am home. He came in autumn, when still the air is filled with summer's warmth, and roses' last buds push persistent past thorns and browning leaves to bloom. When nights smell less of jasmine, more of hay, and sun moves its shadows in slanted shapes across the floor. He came in autumn, when hills turn crimson gold and fresh air smells of wet leaves, pine, and smoke. And a beaver swims his branch across the dam where icy waters carry leaves that catch and cling to help him fill the spaces. When birches tall and bare stand like chalky sculptures midst deep green pines, and sycamore leaves dangle like spinning coins. He came to me in autumn, and we were wed. Empty rooms. Yesterday, I celebrated the day we met. Today was another day without you. A plain day, undressed, exposed, empty as the sky without sun. Even my friends who hold your spirit were away. I waited, walked the steps of every day, hoping to find a piece of joy in another room. Each day was the same, every day, empty. I sat and waited, dreaming. A month passed. Today I felt full. On this day we were wed, 36 years ago. I celebrated and went back to that day, relived every moment as I watched the ceremony, every blessing, every vow repeated. We walked up the aisle in the nest of our love. Now the rooms are full of memories. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for being here. A round of applause for our three authors. Thank you. All right. Yeah, please join us in the lobby for a bit of a reception and also book signing for from all of our three authors. But thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. Yeah. And a group photo with